Smokey Bear, a True Story. Smokey Bear, a True Story by Hannah Cales, illustrated by Alan Mark. This is a narrative nonfiction story. It is about a bear cub that many years ago was found by firefighters after it had been trapped in a tree by a forest fire. The cub climbed the tall tree and it survived. Firefighters and a park ranger found the burnt cub and took him to a vet. The ranger's family cared for the cub, who became the real-life symbol of the famous Smokey Bear. One spring day, a little bear cub woke up in the forest. He stretched and rolled as his mama licked his fur. Then she stopped and sniffed. She smelled smoke. Lots of smoke. In the text box, it says, in the sidebar, it says, Tiny Bear. A baby bear can weigh the same as a bag of potatoes. A forest fire was coming, and the mama bear was scared. She grunted and started to run. The cub tried to keep up, but he just couldn't run as fast. His mama was getting farther and farther away. Look at our sidebar here called Fast Fires. A fire moves faster than many small animals. If you look at the arrows, it tells you how quickly that thing travels. So the mama bear can travel much faster than the forest fire, but the bear cub does not travel quite as fast, so that forest fire is further ahead. But a bear cub can move faster than a squirrel or a mouse. Soon the cub was tired and his mother was gone. He smelled the smoke and he heard the fire crackling. He cried out for his mother, but she didn't come back. The forest fire was spreading. In our sidebar called Forest Fire Causes, we can see some of the things that make forest fires happen. Campfires that get out of control, matches, or lightning striking something that could ignite can cause a forest fire. So he climbed up a tall tree, just as his mama taught him. Hot sparks were everywhere. Suddenly a spark hit his tree. Flash! It was on fire too, but the cub did not let go. In our sidebar called Survival Lesson, it says, a mother bear teaches her cubs to climb a tree when they are in danger. Notice the picture next to our sidebar. It's an actual photograph, so that's a picture that was taken with a camera of a mama bear and her baby. The images that we're looking at in our book are illustrations. At last the fire went out. "There's a bear cub up in that tree!" yelled a man. "Let's get him down!" The brave little cub was alive, but he was thirsty and hurt. All he could do was whimper. Try to make a whimper sound where you are right now. It's kind of like a kind of a puny little sound. Look at our sidebar called Firefighting Tools. Firefighters still use some of the same tools they used many years ago. Look at the word labels next to the pictures. Axe, shovel, hard hat. The man quickly carried the cub out of the forest. Then a forest ranger flew the little bear to a vet. The vet cleaned the bear's burns and bandaged his paws. Then Ranger Bell took him home. In our sidebar, called A Long Trip, we can see a map that shows New Mexico. We can see by the star where it says Santa Fe, and we can see Capitan Mountains. And it looks like an airplane traveling on that blue arrow. The nearest vet was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That was very far away from the fire. At Ranger Bell's house, the cub started to heal, but he couldn't eat solid food. So Judy Bell fed the cub baby food and honey, a little at a time, and the cub got better. Look at our sidebar that says bear food. Cubs learn to eat foods like these from their mamas: grasses, nuts, berries, bugs, fish. One day, someone said, "Let's call him Smokey Bear." And that is how a little cub became the famous Smokey Bear. Up in the circle, we have a photograph, and it has some information below it that says Smokey Bear and Judy Bell. So that's a label that lets us know what is being shown in that photograph. And then at the bottom of our page, we have a caption for the illustration. And the caption is a sentence that gives us more information about the illustration. And it reads, "The famous Smokey flew in a plane with his name and picture on it." Our author's note at the back of the book says, "Smokey Bear was a real bear. He lived to be 26 years old, and he was famous around the world. He had his own song, comic book, and TV show. Smokey Bear always says, 'Only you can prevent wildfires.' Because of Smokey, people learn to be more careful with campfires in the woods." Hannah Kales, our author, included that important message to let us know a little bit more about why she wrote this book. And then below the text, you can see some actual posters about Smokey Bear. And it talks, the first one says, Smokey says, "Care will prevent 9 out of 10 forest fires." So if you are careful with your campfires, you can prevent most of the forest fires that could happen. And the second poster says, "Repeat after me, only you." Well, if every person looks at that and thinks only me, then it's going to help, because every single person is important in preventing that forest fire. These are posters of Smokey that tell us to help prevent forest fires.